What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. I ain't gonna lie, I'm turned up. I'm excited about this. Got a special guest from iFund Cities, one of the premier investment lenders in Philadelphia. What's going on? Purchase loans, rehab loans, refinancing, securing permanent financing, all one stop shop. So I'm excited. So we'll get iFund Cities in here in a second when they are able to join. And then don't forget, we just released the date, 27th. We are doing a networking. What's up, homie? We're doing well, Ryan, what's going on?
What's good, my man?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good, man. I appreciate you joining us. So glad to have you. Um, Loans, hard money, permanent loans, refinance. It is like the talk of the town right now. Rates are going up. Nobody knows what to do, but look, we got the direct source right here. So if you need money, hopefully we can help you connect the dots tonight.
Amen. I like it. I appreciate the tee up and appreciate being here. Second time back. It's been a while though. So to Anthony's community, we appreciate having you, and we looking forward to rapping with you tonight.
Nah, well, we definitely appreciate you, man. But one, how are you and how is business?
I'm personally fantastic. I'm fat as ever. But summer's around the corner, so I'm trying to lose a few. And the business is booming despite rates kind of increasing. Things. People got to reinvest. People got to get their money out of the projects. People got to build. We need inventory, right? We need housing, and so we provide a lot of construction financing. So things are good, and we're blessed.
That's what's up. So, I mean, you kind of talked about it already. Rates are up. So can you tell us, like, what does that mean? Is the market going to crash? Like, are we all going to be facing foreclosure in the next 12 months? Like, what does that mean on the lending side when rates go up?
Yeah. So it should mean that asset prices are going to go down. So as rates go up, home prices should go down. But we have this thing called supply and demand. And right now we have a lot of demand, and you got limited supply. And so despite rates going up, asset prices are still maintaining or kind of inching up. And so we haven't seen a huge hit in terms of pricing values of homes. Here's what I would tell you. There's a lot of uncertainty, right? So you got political unrest, you got a war going on, and the last thing that Wall Street likes is uncertainty. And so when they get uncertain, what do? They raise yield, right? So that's what they're doing, and everybody's feeling it across the board. So until we see some of this kind of political unrest, the Ukraine, Russia thing calm down, I think you're going to have rising interest rates. I think we're pushing past affordability for people. And so, it would be good for rates to stay a little bit higher so we can maybe get asset prices to drop as supply increases, because it's a little bit crazy out there in terms of pricing, at least in our opinion.
Gotcha. So for me, I remember like in 2015, 16, when I was as an agent, rates were between like 6 and 7%, and people were still buying houses.
Yep.
But to your point, a 250 house was like a considered high price. Now 250 is like the everyday average Joe. If it ain't 250, you probably not going to want to live in it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, I'm anxious as well just to see what happens, and on the investment side. But I mean, with the rates, does that mean your rates on the purchase and rehab loans, are they also going up as well?
So we're feeling it more on the longer duration, on the longer yield curve. So if you think about inflation at 7%, right? These guys don't want to hold paper on their balance sheet for 30 years. It's less than inflation, right? So even though you get lots of talks about it, is inflation transitory? Is it short term? Is it long term? These guys don't want, 4 and 5% paper when inflation's 7, 8%, right? So that's another reason you're seeing rates increase. So we saw commercial paper go from the low fours to the mid sixes, low to mid sixes. You really, the minimum credit score is 660. You really start to get price breaks at 720 on a credit score. So for those of you guys listening, get your credit up, pay your bills, pay the credit cards off, get that 720. That 720 is a nice price break for you guys on that 30-year fixed investor product. And we've been pretty stable for the last 30 days. At the beginning of the year, it kind of shot up every day. We got a new tick of they're blowing out spreads, right? And we're
Okay.
changing on customers, and customers are like, what the heck? We've been pretty stable for the last 30 days, which is great news, right? Which means they've priced for any of the Fed movements moving forward. So if the Fed increases rates again, probably won't see a drastic move on our end, which is great
Got
news.
But what about on the hard money side? Because you guys also give money to buy houses and renovate them.
Yep.
Can you touch on that? So down payment, like, so what are we looking at? 15%, 25% of the purchase price?
Yeah, so we run from 20% to guys that have no experience. We call that sub two deals, to 15% the guys that have like kind of that 2 to 10 deal range, so 15%, and then plus 10 deals completed, you're in that 10% range.
When you
Um,
say deals completed, so like whether I fix and flip, buy and hold, that's technically 10 deals, right?
yeah, it's documented deals. So the way we document deals is ownership. So your entity that you own, your LLC that you own, or you individually own that property, and you can give us an address, and I can look up that Anthony owns, 123 Anthony Drive. Right? That's how we verify experience. So experience on the short term. So the answer to your question is no, we haven't seen a ton of rate movements on the short term. We will feel a slight movement. We're starting to see a little bit of it, but it's not going to be as drastic as we saw on the refis. Um, and experience is the number one driver of that. So the only reason credit score comes in on the short term is if it's a hold. If you're burning it or if you're holding it as an investment property, they're going to start looking at how you get out of this project. A lender
Okay.
will be, but if you're flipping the project, we're not all that concerned about credit score. We're more concerned on, can you execute on the project? Do you have a team? Do you have a GC? Do you have a track record? Do you have a mentor? If this is your first deal, like Anthony, that can help you, who stepped in some of the landmines.
So that's a good thing. I didn't even realize that. So what's the minimum credit score I can have to get a loan for fix and flip?
600.
Look, I don't know if you guys realize that. That is pretty damn good because you barely could get a credit card with a 600 score. So you mean to tell me if I'm a person that if I got some money saved up and I'm gonna just say my credit's not even 600 or it's not bad at 600 because of bad things, it's more so because of my cards are maxed out for whatever reason. But if I got this cash, I can park it in the real estate, use the profit from that to then go pay my cards and repair my credit.
Yep. And I got to give a shout out to my boy Jeff Gold. I tightened up the V-neck this time. Last time I was letting it all hang out. I see all my people on here. Lope, Easy E. It's my peeps.
No, they're
Love it.
coming in. They're coming in. Definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. So no, so that's dope. So I mean, I don't know if you guys realize that like real estate, you want to have your fundamentals together. And I tell people like I balled out prematurely. Like I didn't get my personal finances and credit together when I first got in the game. So every time I made money, I had to go back and pay for stuff that I didn't pay for or handle stuff. But the benefit of it was I didn't need another college degree, any more student loans. I didn't need to go get a second or a third job. I just needed to keep investing my money in real estate. And it took me longer. So like I'm a big advocate of fix your credit now and pay your personal finances, get them in order so that when you do have success in real estate, you can actually appreciate the benefits of it. Because it's nothing like doing the work and then you can't really celebrate because you're fixing your mistakes. But however, again, it's a benefit if you can find something to fix your mistakes with. I mean, it's still a win-win. You just have to slow walk your celebration and, taking the fancy trips or going to the Louis Vuitton store, whatever it is your heart desires, going to the casino, whatever it is. But I mean, at 600, that's definitely a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think for those gals out there that want to fix their credit, spend some time, man. Get a credit card, put a couple bucks on it, pay it off, do it consistently. Like Anthony said, buy a property, build your credit while you're buying your property, right? But focus on that because whether you access institutional lenders like us or whether you ultimately go up the ladder and do a bigger project that's 24, 36 months and you need to access a bank, they're going to look at your credit profile. Is it everything? No, but it gives them a snapshot on how you pay your bills. right? And when people are lending you big sums of money, they want to know that you're going to pay your bills. Look, shit happens, but they want to make sure that you can pay your bills, right, on time and be a good partner, right? Lenders are looking for good partners in real estate, and that's how you're going to get lower cost, higher leverage.
Right. So with that, if I come to you, I mean, outside of the credit, what are some of the other things in the experience that will help me get approved for funding?
Yeah, Demi, so just documenting that experience. So I think here's some of the misconceptions that are out there for marketing where guys get screwed up. So like a wholesaler, they probably know the market better than any developer, right? Because they've walked the streets, they've knocked on every door, they've looked at every comp. But unfortunately for them, they haven't done a deal yet. And so they'll come and say, I've done hundreds of deals. And the answer is, yeah, you got a great market experience for that. And I'd love to be able to pay to give them a loan, and we do, but they on the first one they bring a little bit more money. And the reason that is behind all this money at the institutional level is the securitization. And that is basically, in layman terms, a pooled group of loans that goes in and an insurance company or a pension fund buys that loan. And that secures annuities and life insurance. So not to get high level, but they want a certain credit profile in there, and there's a certain expectation of risk, and risk in our space is deemed by experience and then your credit profile. So those are the two biggest ones. And then the third is, as a lender, we want to make sure you're making money on the deal, right? Is it razor thin, or do you have a minimum of 10% margin? And we look at that, because if you're not making money, you're not going to stay in the business. You're not going to be excited about it. It's probably not a great deal for you. So, and shit comes up on your first one. Like, this, man. Like, I haven't done a deal where something hasn't come up where I got a change order of something, through all the deals I've ever done.
I'm finishing the flip now. We hit the market today. In literally 2 days, we were finishing up the exterior painting. There was a hole or some concrete repair in the basement we didn't see. It's never finished. Never.
That's right.
Another flip, the sewer, the plumbing pipe going to the street, to the house, had to replace it. We were done everything on the inside, and that's the last thing. I overlooked it. I said, I hope it works when we get there, and we tied everything in, and of course the shit is backed up.
That's a great hack for Philly, man. You're buying a Philly row home, West Philly, North Philly, 19122, 19133. Dude, holler at my boy Elliot Carter for $250, scopes your lateral. That's a $3,500 cost, right? And if you don't know what you're doing, it's a $5,000 cost, because they're going to beat your ass up because they know you're new to the game. So that's a quick hack. If you're buying these old houses, they have terracotta laterals, get it scoped. It's worth the $250 up front, so it doesn't cost you $3 to $5 down the road.
It's funny you said that, and I just had that argument with somebody about the laterals. Yo, I'm like, I know I'm supposed to do the scope, but I just honestly don't want to know. I honestly don't want to know. So I take the gamble, and then
But yeah, we got them too. Mike T and I get them all the time. It happens.
Right. No, but I mean, that's that. But to your point, that is a great tip, because it's most of these houses need it, and it's crazy that you're like, yo, I'm gonna do all of this and then not touch. Like, yeah, you're not gonna touch it, but I promise you, by the time you get to the home inspection, it's gonna tell you it needs repair.
Amen. And those you get these another hat, man. You need 7.5 feet in the basement, so don't let somebody sell you that 6-foot basement and be like, you're gonna put a unit down there. You're not.
That, and what was the other thing I just went through? Oh, if you can, when you start the rehab, hurry up and get the water changed into your name, so that you can then sign up for American Water Resource. Because if I had American Water Resource, I could have used the warranty to cover the sewer line.
That's a good hack. I didn't even know that one. That's
yeah,
a good one.
$10 a month would have saved me $5,000.
That's where it all. Forget what I said. What he just told you. That's where all the IG love tonight. That's the hack of hacks, cousin.
And the only reason why I couldn't do it was because the city is so slow with changing the name of the properties. Water companies like, you don't own it yet. I'm like, yes, I do. They're like, well,
$10.
Unless that's it, $10. But unless the city changes it, but I was just, you call the city, you're on the line, like calling the city, the water company, and calling the IRS, you just got to sit on the phone for 45 and hope they pick up. Like, they're in there, but they're so busy.
That's right.
No, but back to getting approved. So, like, I talk to a lot of clients, Ryan, and they're like, "Yo, I want to buy a property. I want to start fixing houses," and I feel like most people don't know how to be organized. So you said credit. If you don't have the experience, it's okay as long as you have enough cash. So can I use credit cards and call that my down payment money? Do you guys consider that? Or how does that work?
So
Because all the people on Instagram, that's what they're telling us.
yeah, no, I know. So here's the bottom line: is Mr. Green, cash is king, right? So cash is going to be your number one. Debt-free property is going to be your number two. Limited partners, so outside investors, whether you're taking your private money and using it for your down payment, which is what a lot of guys do, right? You got a good private lender, they're giving you good rates. Take it, shift it from using it to build your construction paper. Come to a guy like us, get that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 you raise. Now you can do 4 or 5 projects by levering their project money to be their down money, using us for debt, right? So that's 3. Credit cards, if you want to pull the credit card advance, you can do that. If you can pull them down and use it as cash, I'd recommend more of a HELOC than we see credit cards. But again, credit cards will let you roll balance. I see guys do it all the time. I would just caution you that stuff comes up, and you don't want to get in this credit bubble where you got a lender that you owe money to, then you got a credit card you owe money to, and then you got your other personal obligations on top of it. So just be careful. I would say the deal needs to really make sense for you in order to use credit cards. And I would probably go a different way. I'd probably go find a mentor who wants to throw up some money and take a JV, and maybe I make a little bit less money on deal 1, but I have some insulation from making mistakes, right? If I'm a newer investor and I'm using most of their money, so my risk is mitigated.
Ooh, I love that one, Ryan. So I don't know if you guys peep. Ryan literally, can I reiterate it, Ryan?
Yeah, for sure.
Find a mentor, find a partner. But first, right, now you're adding value. So now what you do is go find a property. You go hunt the wholesalers. You go hunt the realtors, but go to somebody with the experience. So now when you get the funding, you get a cheaper rate. You get to basically get somebody to hold you and guide you through the process. But now you can renovate the property and again mitigate the risk.
Yep.
So granted, you can make 100% of all of it, and it'll take you 2-3 years to finish your first project. But you can partner with somebody, and I'm gonna just say you're gonna make 40% instead of 50-50. 40%, right? You find the deal, they help guide you through it, but now you're done the project within 6 months, which is a great time frame for a fix and flip project.
Yep.
Now, stay in the process. You might even pick up some trades. You might build a relationship with the lender. So now you take your money back, your profit, and go do your own deal. Nobody said you had to be married to the partnership, but you use the partnership so that you now can build a relationship, 1, and 2, successfully learn the steps.
There's a smart wholesaler, Adam, who just jumped on here. So he did 2 deals with us. He brought us 2 deals instead of taking a commission. He sat in the deals. He got the experience that he could document his 2 deals. Then he came back to us and took all his good deals and was like, all right, Ryan, like I took less on deal 1 and 2. I find them. I'm doing the hard work. I'm going to take it all on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ooh.
Brilliant strategy for Adam, right? Now he's on deal 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's got the experience. He's got the building credibility. He can go to us. He can go to a bank. So to me, that's the fastest way to expedite your growth.
Partnership. I love it. And then even you touched on it earlier, the game changer for my business was raising the private money. So now I'm able to do multiple deals because I've got credit, I've got my own cash, but now that I've got this other access to cash, I can afford to comfortably buy 2 and 3 properties at a time or back to back. But again, don't tell people to jump out there and do this. This is something that you want to take time. Don't just jump out there and take somebody's money, because it's one thing to owe a credit card company, right? But it's another thing to owe such and such that you see at church, or such and such that you see at your kid's school, and you owe them 50 grand.
Yep.
You never know what somebody else is going through, so you don't want to put them in a compromising situation that's then going to affect you and your name, your business, and all of that other good stuff.
That's right. So in terms of other qualifications, right, get your entity information in order. So that's your EIN, that's your articles of incorporation, right, and that's your operating agreement. Get an operating agreement. If it's just you need it signed, whether you're using, everybody outside of private money and true hard money that's only asset-based, to go down and lower in cost for a bank or an institutional lender, what we are, you're going to need your paperwork in order. Know your market, know your comps, right? So know why you're putting that 50 grand in, how are you adding value to that project, and what's that do to your after repair value, right? Be able to tell a story about why you like, 19122 and why you're doing this duplex. Other than that, you need driver's license. You need that liquidity. Again, we talked about that, whether that's pulling credit cards down, LP money, cash or debt-free property. And that's really it, man. Title, appraisal, insurance. If you have more than 10 deals, we can do a BPO hybrid. So we're saying, all right, experience trumps the appraisal. And we all know here that's an investor. You can kind of wipe your ass with an appraisal, but it's more of a check the box exercise for that lower cost of capital. Because it's to cover their ass. That's the only reason people are doing it. So some guys get frustrated with the lenders. The real reason behind that is the money comes from the big institutions, and the big institutions play the check the box bullshit, which is a pain in the ass for most investors. But get used to it if you want lower cost of capital.
So it's funny you brought up appraisals, right? My appraisal just came in $200,000 short. As a lender, what do you recommend I do or somebody do when an appraisal, which is basically a professional's opinion, comes in that short?
So we do a couple things. One, we get appraisal risk reviews, right? So we do a data report. We can do a BPO, right? So if we think it's totally off, and we had this with another big developer on a big $15 million refinance where we were short 780 grand, and what we did was
15 million.
Yeah, it was a big deal, but it was over 7 properties. But we were almost $1 million off what he thought the value was, right? So he was leaving $500,000, give or take, on the table, and he's like, "That ain't gonna work." So here's what we did. We went back to the developer. We spent time understanding the comps, running our comps, doing appraisal risk reviews. We talked to a couple other banks. We did another appraisal on our own dime, and then we went back to the original appraisal and said, "Here's all our documentation. Here's how you didn't value the cap rate correctly." And we ended up getting the value to where we needed to go, right? Nice. So that was a painstaking process. But if you have a lender that believes in the market, and that's why local lenders are important, because they start to understand the project, and then they can tell the story to the appraiser along with the investor.
Nice. No, and that's amazing, the fact that you had the support. You guys gave the support and backed them versus saying, "Send me your comps. We'll let you know what we'll let you know what we." Like, don't leave me just hanging in the wind. Like, I spent whatever you spend on an appraisal, which isn't cheap. Like, yo,
it's a $15,000 appraisal.
It's a $15,000 appraisal.
You guys know who he is. I mean, he's in your community. He's running around Temple. He's a Temple guy. Drives a Raptor and maybe an Aston Martin. You may know who he is.
No, I'm saying I don't.
Well, he's running around, but he did a big deal. We had to go to bat for him, and it was painful, man. It was painful for us and painful for him, but that's how you get it done, right? So that's why I tell your market, know your market, right? And the other thing we do is we use local appraisers, AMCs for out-of-town lenders. For those who don't, that's an appraisal management company. So they're an organization that manages appraisals. You lose that ability to communicate directly with the appraiser, and that's really where you lose the value.
I got you. Okay. So in the event, not any event, but like now that we're talking about refinancing, the BRRRR method, for those who don't know, buy it, rehab it, rent it out, and refinance it, right? For the investors that have a couple properties, how often should they be refinancing, or should they not refinance and just, go straight through the 20-year loan or 30-year loan and, just have the house with all its equity?
So I think that's personal choice, right? So I think it depends on their strategy and how much capital they have, right? If you got a ton of capital behind you, either raised or your own capital, do you care if you leave a couple bucks in there and take a lower LTV? Probably not, right? And you're more cautious and you want a more conservative approach, right? And you're good leaving 10 grand in there that's making 16% cash on cash return, because where are you getting that return elsewhere, right? So that's one school of thought. If you're short on capital and you need to get the most out of it, then I think to go to 75 makes a lot of sense, and get 99% of your capital, if not all of it, out of it. I will tell you that I see less and less deals in Philadelphia that meet that requirement, where they're not leaving some money in. The only deals that I'm really seeing that do that are tertiary markets and then ground up new construction, where they're adding a ton of value. in Philly currently right now where everybody's getting 100% of their money back.
Gotcha. So on the refinance side, are the requirements the same? Do I still need a 720 credit score?
So 660 is the man on the permanent finance, 600 on the bridge on the short term. So long term 660, short term 600. The price break on long term's 720 FICO.
When you say long term versus the bridge, what's the difference?
Yeah, so sorry. One is short-term purchase or construction. So I'm buying something, it's stabilized. I need 12 months to reposition it, and then I'm going to go put permanent debt on it. Or I'm buying a piece of land. I'm going to build a single-family house, duplex, triplex, quadplex. Short-term, 12 to 15 months. That's short-term paper. Long-term paper is 30-year fix. It's the asset's been stabilized either after renovation, or I'm buying a stabilized asset with tenants in there, and I want to go right to permanent debt because it doesn't need any work. Does that make sense?
And we can do these refinances in our LLC name as well?
Yep.
Do you have a preference? Like some people are like, well, I don't want it in my LLC. I want it in my personal name. Does it?
So we can't do them in our personal name. We do all commercial loans in the residential space. That's a trust, an LLC, a business corporation, so an S Corp, C Corp, or an Inc. The difference is commercial loans look at debt service coverage ratio. So does your rent cover your principal, interest, and tax payment? And on a personal loan, they're going to look at your debt to income. So how much do your W-2, what's your net wages on a net basis, and can that cover the mortgage payment? So those are your two differences. The one on the left, DTI, is going to be the lower rate currently, and the one on the right is going to be the higher rate, but doesn't show up on your credit, which means you could do a lot more of them. And so you're going to have to balance that out. If you had a great W-2, you're an attorney, you're making a ton of dough, probably want to go Fannie Freddie for 9 or 10 of them, right? And then flip over here and do the commercial loans. If you don't have a big W-2 and you're raising money and you're struggling like most real estate developers to make ends meet when you're starting this is a great place to be, right? It's not going to show up on your credit. You can do it much quicker. And they don't look at your debt to income. They're looking at the asset.
What do you mean, Ryan? You said developers struggling. I thought, leading up to social media, everybody's riding around in Maseratis and everything, just getting in real estate. They said,
I got that Ram 1500, boy, and I feel like I do all right. I got no Mas.
That's what they say. Get into real estate. It'll change your life. It will change your life, but it takes time, people. It takes time.
Well, I agree with that. It's not get rich quick. It's get rich slow, but it's rewarding. You're providing housing for people. It builds a lot of wealth long term, brings passive income. You're setting your kids up. You can change your life doing it, but you got to take a 10, 15-year horizon on it.
Gotcha. So can you touch on that though, Ryan? Like, talk about your experience and what you've seen for some of your clients. You don't have to get into detail, but your clients and how, real estate, you've seen them evolve, and, some of the lifestyle changes or just some of the, just some of the not having to be living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I would tell you. So I think probably the biggest assessor, I think I mentioned it last time we were on here. We had a guy that was in prison for 10 years, came to us, brilliant mind, got in on a drug charge, wasn't a huge deal to us, really wanted an opportunity, was a carpenter by trade, and he came to us, no one gave him a shot, we gave him a shot. He's on deal, I don't know, 10 now, right? And he's making passive income, he's got 30 doors under his belt, making 10, 15 grand a month. I mean, that's a life changer, right, for him and his family. He doesn't have to do any more deals than one. That's a lot of money coming in, but if he wants to continue to build, that's a great story. I think where I find most people fall down is they don't have that mentor on the first deal, or they don't have a network like an Anthony to plug into, mastermind group, and they go and they think they can solve all the problems. They fall down, they don't make money, and they're like, I'm going to crypto. I can't make money in real estate, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean. Like, you went from SEPTA, Herbalife, real estate, wholesaler, crypto. What else is out there?
NFTs. You're trading monkeys. You're making 100 grand.
Credit repair. Then you're selling dogs. I get it. You're trying to find your way. I get it. But take the bumps. Like, I took the bumps in real estate initially, and it was painful. I'm not gonna lie. It kicked my ass, but I'm grateful I stayed in it because now the opportunities are just like I think I was telling you the other day, like I'm now at the point where I'm comfortable to talk about 12 units and up. Like,
Yep.
I got people that want to work with me and they're like, yo, we're not doing these baby deals anymore. Like, if it's not 1.2 and up, we don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't know who you guys think I am, but like 1.2, but they're like, no, we're doing it. You got the skill set. You can do it. It's the same thing. It's just bigger math, same calculator. It's the same thing.
That's right. Same brain damage too. You know, it's like you go do one, you might as well do 12. You got one kitchen to do, you can do 12. You know.
No, that is true to your point. Like so, and that's the thing, because now I did the 6 unit, and I think that's why they're like, yo, you did the 6 unit, you proved to us like, yo, we can do the 12 now. Like you got, you can. I'm like, yo, I just did the 6. Let me get through that.
Yep. We got another customer, not college educated, high school education, GED's got 880 units.
Wait. You said how many?
880 units.
In Philly?
In Philly.
Are they stealing houses from people? Where'd they get 800 houses?
Dude, he owns everything in Southwest, West Philly. He land banked. Now he's building new construction. But this kid, I mean, he comes from nothing. And he will be the first to tell you he didn't take $1 out of the business until he got to 150 units. One girl, his right-hand gal, and him. And now he's got 3 kids. His kid still hasn't changed forever. He's got an empire, right? Like, they're never going to want for anything in their lives. They're going to have an incredible life, and I'm sure he'll teach them because he's the man, like that, discipline. But the stories are out there. You'd be shocked how many guys come through our doors.
So I don't know.
Good.
I don't know if he's going to let me do an IG live, but I'm saying you got to let me bring him to the office. I'll bring the lunch to the office for you guys, A&M. I got to hear about this. And I mean, to your point, I was just talking to somebody else in my network. He's like, the new goal, like, I thought 10,000 a month was good enough. He's like, it's not enough. Like, you spend that too fast. He's like, now my new goal is 50,000 a month. And hearing you say 800 units, I'm like, oh, so 50,000 might not even be enough. Like, and you're not just people aren't doing this just to flex and go buy things. They're doing this to impact the people in their life. So like you said, his kids, his spouse, his mom, his in-laws, the people around him probably aren't working, but they're probably helping within the business.
Yeah, the business now. But I think one of the things I appreciate most about him is, like, he's not driving the Superfly car, right? He's driving a normal car. He's a normal dude. He puts his pants on the same way we do, right? Like, he's humble. He's willing to coach. He's willing to teach. I think that's what real estate's about. It's a gritty business. You want to be in the streets. You want to be in your projects. You want to build a team, and that's why, you know, guys and gals that have that attitude, they thrive in this business.
That's what's up, man. I could only imagine tax bills, water bills.
Yeah, right. You stabbed us for that.
That's a good problem to have, though. That is a damn good problem to have.
Absolutely.
But, and I don't, again, people, like, for those of you on here, when you hear these conversations, again, these people aren't bragging. Nobody's boasting. It's just, you don't realize you're living not that you're living limited, but you're like, there's more for you out there.
Yep.
And when you realize what can be done through the real estate, and you don't have to wait till you're 45, 50, 55 to enjoy, it's all in the real estate, and it's just the discipline to get you there.
Yep. If I had 25 grand and I was starting over again, I'd go find someone like Anthony. I'd put my 25,000 in. I'd say, look, dude, I'm going to be a sponge. Tell me where I need to be, when I need to be, how I need to be, and I'm going to learn everything I possibly can, right? And I'm probably going to do that for 2 deals, and I'm going to take my return, my 25 that's now 75, and be like, you know what? I'm going to go do deal 1. And Anthony, would you look over my shoulder? I think I know what I'm doing, but just look over with me.
Right.
I mean, that I think is the smart, for the young investors here that are getting started. That's, if I was repeating, that's what I would do. I went out and made all the mistakes in the world, and that's exactly how I would restart.
No, so we've been telling people, like, getting the right people around you, and even me, like, yo, I'm still getting the right people around me, but just in that impact, that's how I've been able to scale up during the pandemic.
Yep.
You know, I stopped being scared to communicate and share my goals. I stopped being scared to tell people when I messed up, and like, now we're plugging and playing. So again, you know, if you can get in any of these rooms, you know, it could be a game changer for you, which to the point, great segue, we're having a networking event where we're going to have lenders. Hopefully we can get you to be one of the lenders there. We're going to have lenders and business credit, and then other wholesalers and other real estate professionals in the room May 27th to kick off Memorial Day weekend at the Fittler Club here in Philly. So it's going to be a dope event, a private event, registration only. The link is in my story. Lorenzo might be able to post it in the comments and I can pin it. But again, being in these rooms, when I tell you, like, I could make a phone call and be like, yo, I'm in a jam. I need to know where I can get 20,000 from.
Yep.
That phone call will tell me, yo, call this banker, call this person, set the appointment, take them your LLC, and they got you.
Yep.
I'm like, when I needed this kind of money, nobody told me anything.
That's right.
You know,
I think that's where we try to separate. I think there's a lot of other good lenders in Philadelphia that do the same thing. I think you guys it's a great network of guys here that can give you money and give you access to capital and do it before you need it, right? Everybody, when you get to Anthony's stature, everybody wants to fund your money, right? He's got options. He don't have to choose iFund cities. He could choose one of 20 lenders, right? And he should. He should have a bank of lenders that are going to do different things for him, right? I mean, that's what an experienced investor has. But yeah, I think if you get in these rooms, you build the network, you're vulnerable to your point, right? You tell them what you don't know, you're honest with yourself and other people about, man, I'm new. I'm trying to learn, right? People respect that, right? People respond to that. They want to help you. People naturally want to help.
Nah, that is the game changer. So again, if you guys want to come out, you want to learn, I'm telling you, May 27th, we will help you. We will put you in position. And again, the people will be in the room. Most of these people you see on social media or you hear about, they're going to be in the room. So May 27th, make sure you guys check my story for the registration link. The link is up. Seating will be limited, but it will be a real dope event. So, I mean, Ryan, if I'm hearing this live and I'm saying, hey, I'm ready to jump in, you said earlier, make sure I got my LLC docs. I got some money in the bank. Is there like a minimum amount of cash I should have? Like, where should I like start with the cash part?
If you're brand spanking new and you don't have a mentor, you're going to need somewhere around that 50K mark to do the deal 100% on your own, right? To do the deal 100%, soup to nuts, no partners.
Start enough money to start your rehab.
Yep, that's money to put it down and start your rehab. And again, this fluctuates on what's your purchase price, how much renovation you're doing, right? So I'd say that's a good number that you're going to be able to get in with any lender, hard money lender, institutional lender, even a bank's going to touch you, right? If you have good credit. That's where I would start. If I didn't have that, if I had 25, I would start as, again, back to what I just said, beating a dead horse. I would be a limited partner and learn the business through someone else as a passive investor, get a little bit more money or save a little bit more money, and then go after my first deal.
And then I would just piggyback. Just say if you can save $25,000 in cash, go get the other 25 in credit.
Amen. It's a good point.
But now you can, again, if you can't find a partner, somebody to like private money-wise, you can use the cash with the credit, and you can use the credit to bridge the gap. But try to have as much cash as you can, because you don't want to be in a jam and now you're trying to figure out how to get the money out the car. So have your cash, have your LLC docs, and then you said have a credit score 720. You're the man at 720 or the female at 720. But at bare minimum,
600 for short term, 660 for long term. And I'd actually flip it on you. Instead of chasing the money, let's say you don't have the money, go find the deal. Money will chase the deal, right? Go find the deal. And anybody like Anthony, myself, come to any of us. Like, we're going to throw, you got a good deal. We're going to be like, yeah, we'll help you. Let's go, right? Like, that's the hardest thing to do. To be honest with you, everybody's worried about the financing. You find a good deal. You have so much money, you don't even know what to do with it, right? I'm going to be honest with you. So that is where I would, like, if I didn't have cash, I didn't have 25, I got 5. All right, I'm going to go figure out how to wholesale. I'm going to find a deal. I'm going to knock on doors. I'm going to learn my street. I'm going to find somebody who trusts me. I'm going to get that deal done. I'm going to go to Anthony and be like, yo, I got this duplex. I like it. Help me underwrite it. I think it's a great deal. And if it pencils, then you're going to find an investor.
No, so that's funny you said that. So I did a deal with a partner, JV, last year. It was like my best flip to date. She bought the deal. I bought the money. I bought the hard money loan, and I GC'd the rehab.
Yep.
But the deal was so good. It was like, and she told me, she was like, I can wholesale it to you, but I'd rather partner. And I'm like, well, why would I partner? She's like, because if you partner, I can get it for you at this price, versus selling it to you at that price. And I was like, all right, we might as well partner.
And she's smart. She had a long-term vision. She's like, I'm going to lock Anthony up, man. Now I got a partner. I got a GC, and I got my money. All I got to do is find deals, right? So I'd say focus on your strengths. If your strengths are raising capital and facing investors, then go do that. If your strengths are finding deals, stay in that lane because money's going to find you if you find really good deals, right? So know your strength, fill your voids, right? Build a team. Build a team of guys. Find a good GC. Mike Tracy calls me a suction cup. That's my building partner, right? He's like, you are a laptop GC. You are terrible, right? And I know that. So what do? I got to find a great, reliable GC partner, and I brought my skill set to him, which was, the back office stuff, the ability to raise capital, the ability to build a process around a company. And what did he do really well? He builds a great product, right? So find your partnership, find what you're good at and what you love, right? That's got to be what you love. It's typically what you're good at.
That's true. Because again, I used to get killed because I tried to be the GC, but now that I have the proper GC, that's GC and my GC, all is well. My projects look amazing. I'm like, take all the credit. Only thing I'm good at, I pick paint colors and a little bit of tile. That's it.
That's right.
But no, Ryan, we definitely appreciate it. But this is definitely, I feel like, one of the gaps. Like, people think it's hard to talk to lenders, and it's like, no, you're only going to learn if you talk to a lender. Yeah. So I really just wanted to share, again, your company and what you guys have going on, because I mean, you hear so many different things, and a lot of these lenders out here, they're not as good as they're saying they are. And I can say, like, yo, I've spoken to Ryan. I'm doing business with Ryan, so I can basically, I can give you that stamp of approval to say, like, no, Ryan and his company, they stand behind it, and they're good people to work with. So, give them a shout, figure out what the gaps are, and I'm sure that they'll point you in the right direction. And if they can help you, they'll send you somewhere that maybe will better work for you.
Yeah. And we got a lot of resources. Hit the website, iFund Cities. We got an underwriting tool that's badass for your newer investors. We also put this really cool checklist on there. So your last stop before you cut your last check to the GC, the checklist of what you should check in the property, make sure you're not hammered. Like, we try to put a lot of resources out there that we've learned over the years to try to help guys. But I think Anthony's right. I think if there's one thing we do well is we'll give you a quick yes or a quick no. And if it's a no, we're going to try to lead you to a place where, we send a lot to Crowdcopia. We send a lot to hard money bankers. We send a lot of things that don't fit our box to guys that can fix the problem. And after you get a couple deals, you're like, I don't want to pay 11%. You come back to us, right? And so, there's a spot for these guys, and there's a spot for us, and we can work in tandem.
Definitely. And don't forget, guys, if any of you have any deals, you want some help, some guidance, give me a call. I am going to be buying again, especially once you guys help me get through these refis. So, look, I don't mind partnerships. I'll do my part, you do your part, and let's get to the closing table so we can have some money to take these kids to Disney sometime,
Amen.
That's all I really want.
My boy ain't going to be flush, too, so holler at him. He ready to go.
That's all I really want to do. That's like you said, game shit. Money's for the kids now. Like, as long as I can pay my bills, I'm happy. But I just want my kids to have all the experiences they can have in the world. Amen. That's all I want, man. So, but definitely thank you. So, iFund Cities, check out, you guys can go on his page, follow, and then the website's on your IG page too?
Yep.
Okay. And then is there anything that we didn't touch on you feel like the people need to know or should pay attention to?
So we touched on, kind of where rates are and why they're there. We touched on kind of knowing your market, having your paperwork in good order. I think building a team, we talked about that, what we do if we didn't have money, what we wouldn't do if we did have money. No, I mean, I think if there's anything comes up or you want to run by us, give us a call. We're happy to, spend some time with you. You can reach out to us on the IG and somebody will get back to you, or you can reach out to us on the website. Or you can find me on my personal page, and you can give me a buzz, man. I'm one of 3 owners there, but all 3 of us get on the phone with guys and help and do what we can.
Okay, well, we definitely appreciate that. So, thank you again, Ryan. Definitely we'll be talking, and, hopefully I'll see you at the closing table soon.
Let's get it.
All right, well, thank you again.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And don't forget, May 27th, come check us out in person. We're going to be at the Fitler Club. Networking, funding, business credit, I'm ready to come back outside. I missed you guys, and May 27th it'll be the first event, kick off Memorial Day weekend.
Cold beer and good people. Who don't want that? You know.
Old fashioned. I need another old fashioned.
Hey, man. Thanks, man. We appreciate the time. Bye, guys.
Have a good one, Ryan. Thank you.
See you, bud.